Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fresh and exciting episode on the show. Today's guest is Mari Reisberg, a licensed professional counselor or performer, creativity coach, and the host of the Sustaining Creativity podcast. With a unique background in acting, dance, movement, therapy, and somatic counseling psychology. Mari helps women Mari helps people reconnect with their creative potential, not just artists, but anyone who wants to live with purpose, resilience, and joy. Maria, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here and chat about creativity and share all the things I know.
All right, thank you so much. So, I would also like you to add a little bit to my introduction.
Say that one more time. Just add anything.
Add a little to my introduction.
Sure. So, let's see. I have degrees in acting and psychology, and I wove them together to start initially supporting performers around sustaining their own creativity in creative careers. And then that expanded into supporting everyone in finding more creativity in their life and to sustain it over a lifetime, not just as a career, but in your personal life, your relationships, your everyday life, and how to live a creative life, because creativity offers so many benefits to us in our life. So that is the work that I do. And then it translated and transitioned into a podcast, the Sustaining Creativity podcast in 2020. And that's where I speak with people from around the world about their experience of creativity and how it shows up for them and what it means to them. And it is a passion of mine. I truly believe we are all creative, and everyone who wants to flex creativity in their life has the capacity to do that. And so that's what I do with people and help them regain access to creativity or spark new creative adventures in their lives. I have a background in acting and performing. I used to sing with an Irish band in New York City, and I've been performing most of my life. I started professionally performing when I was 3 years old and continue to do it today. I do much less of it now. I am a licensed professional counselor, as you mentioned, and I have a full-time private practice in the United States in Colorado and work with individuals from all backgrounds, navigating all sorts of issues, but mostly individuals navigating transitions. And I definitely weave in all of my creativity work in my therapy practice as well. So that's a little bit more about me and the work that I do. And yeah, creativity is just one of the most amazing parts of life. And I think we all can benefit from it in so many ways.
All right, so let's get into the questions I have here for you.
Sure.
When you say that everyone is creative, what does creativity actually mean to you?
To me, creativity is about life force or freedom. It allows me personally to try things in new ways, tap into my curiosity, feel the wonder of creativity in my life. It means everything. If I didn't have creativity, life would feel less alive. And I think it's such a powerful tool for change, because it allows us to try new things, learn things about ourselves, learn things about other people, dive into so many new avenues in our life. So it's a very powerful tool and skill that we all have access to, but that's what creativity means to me.
All right, so what are 5 of the biggest benefits creativity can bring into our everyday lives?
Oh, the biggest benefits creativity can bring into our life, it allows us to experience more joy. I think that is a huge benefit. It also helps us remain in the present moment. So often we spend our days rehashing the past or worrying about the future, and creativity asks us to be present in the moment we are in. It doesn't think about the past. It doesn't worry about the future. So that is a huge benefit. It also helps regulate our nervous system, allows us to find more space of calm. It can help us navigate anxiety and depression. It is something that allows our brain to be utilized fully. It uses both hemispheres of our brain, right and left. And so I think those are some of the biggest benefits of it. And it's something that keeps us young. When we engage in creative habits, specifically ones that involve movement, it actually decreases the age of our brain. And so I think the benefits of creativity are tenfold. They're so many, but those are some of the big ones.
All right. So, many people say I'm just not creative. How can anyone begin cultivating creativity?
Yeah, so I think this idea that people feel they're not creative is a tough one to navigate. Oftentimes we feel that way because we're afraid of trying something and other people commenting or judging us for it. Other times we have an inner critic that's telling us we're not good enough. So I think when we feel like we are not creative, it's something that we're afraid to try something new or take a risk. And there's small ways that we can engage with creativity. Sometimes it's how we choose to get dressed in the morning, what clothes we choose to put on, what accessories we choose to wear. It could be how we choose to navigate our way to our place of employment, to work or to school. If we take a new route, we might notice something different. That is a form of creativity. Creativity isn't just performing arts. It's not just painting and music and dance and theater. It's also putting food on a plate. It's also color coding a spreadsheet. It's also problem solving. How am I going to get through this challenging moment in my life? That is also a creative act. So I think most people assume they're not creative because they're viewing creativity only through one lens of the performing arts. And creativity is so much more than just performing arts. So when we're able to step back and expand our view or our scope of what creative arts and creativity is, I think more people will start to recognize that they are actually already engaging with creativity. It just looks different in their life than it does for someone who is actively pursuing performing arts.
Okay, thank you so much. So, your work bridges therapy and the performing arts. How do the healing art connect with the creative arts?
The healing arts and creative arts are kind of two sides of the same coin. There's oftentimes, if we're witnessing or in the audience of performing arts, we as audience members experience some version of healing. And when we are participating in performing arts, we can experience have a healing experience of that for ourselves. Not all performing arts are meant to be witnessed or seen by other people. Sometimes we're doing something just for ourselves. So there are creative arts therapies, dance therapy, which is what I practice, drama therapy, art therapy, music therapy. And so those are very specific modalities of therapy that use healing arts mixed and interwoven in with performing arts. And they work so well together because so often healing needs to happen on a body level and not on a thinking or cognitive word level. So if we can draw a picture or move our physical body in a way that creates healing or cycling or sequencing movement, it can allow for us to express and explore pain and challenge and distress and dis-ease in new ways that allow us to reflect or have insight into those moments of our lives through a creative expression that is witnessed in a non-performative setting or performing setting. So oftentimes the healing art happens not in a performance space. The healing can happen in more of a therapy space. While some performing art can have healing qualities, oftentimes it's more for the audience who is experiencing it, that experiences being, emotionally moved by someone else's performance. So that's where I think the intersection of healing arts and creative arts happen.
Okay, thank you so much. So, what happens when we ignore or suppress our creativity for years?
Oh, I think we live a less joyful life. We miss a lot of opportunities. It literally takes years off of our life, off of our brain. And so I think when we suppress our creativity or choose not to engage with it for long periods of time, we're really keeping ourselves stagnant. We're holding ourselves in a space that doesn't experience a lot of joy or wonder or curiosity. And those are detrimental to emotional development, physical development, spiritual development. And so I think choosing to not engage with creativity is a real disservice to our life. And as I mentioned before, creativity can be found in so many different facets or ways or opportunities. It doesn't have to just look like performance. And so being able to tap into some small everyday creativity may be enough to spark that joy or that curiosity or that wonder in your life that starts to bring around some change. So I think creativity is imperative in our life and can be pretty challenging to engage with it if we have a lot of our own self-imposed blocks or barriers that come up when we hear that word creativity.
All right. So, if someone wants to spark their creativity today, what are a few simple places to start?
Step outside. Notice all the colors you see. Notice the clouds moving or feel rain on your palm or your skin. Jump in puddles. Experience nature in a new way. Stand in front of your clothes in your closet and ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? And if I want to feel powerful, or if I want to feel sexy, or if I want to feel creative, or if I want to feel fluid, what would I wear? How would I put clothes on my body to spark that in my life? Or you take the dog for a walk on a new path that you've never been down, or give yourself some structure and say, okay, I'm going for a walk, but I'm going to notice all of the yellow things that I see. And I'm going to take a picture of all the yellow things that I see. Those are just some small ways to spark creativity, or play a board game or a card game, or watch a movie, or go to an art gallery. Witness other people's creative expression is another way to spark creativity in your life. Write down all of your ideas. Put pen to paper. Something happens in our brain when we physically write on paper that is different than for typing something into a note in our phone or typing on a computer. So take a piece of paper and a pen and write down ideas for yourself Take a piece of toast and a cookie cutter and use that to make your toast in a shape, or take 5 minutes and stand in grass, or pot a plant. These are just some small ways that you can engage with creative thoughts or creative moments. Play pretend, spend some time with children. They're always playing a pretend game or writing a story or creating a magical world that they get to live in. And so what would it be like if you took a page out of that book, or think of things that you enjoyed doing when you were young? What were those pieces? Was it playing a sport? Was it reading a book? Was it getting lost in your imagination? Those are just some ways to tap back into your creativity that don't necessarily cost any money, and they can be something you can try today.
All right, so Mari, if someone is listening to this conversation right now and they feel stuck, overwhelmed, or disconnected, how can creativity become the first steps towards healing and transformation?
If you're feeling stuck, again, creativity may be able to unlock some of that stuckness. But sometimes it's hard to do alone. So finding community space. Is there something happening at the local library that, someone might be giving a talk, or is there a movie? So sometimes we need something outside of ourselves to support and encourage us to unstick whatever we're stuck in. Or, who's someone you can call on the phone and brainstorm some ideas, or run something past that you feel is a trusted person that will give you supportive, constructive feedback on ideas. I think there's ways to unstick yourself by asking yourself, why? Why am I stuck? What's getting in my way? Asking why over and over again, and writing down what is that information that keeps coming up. Or doing some stream of consciousness writing. So write pen to paper for 15 minutes without picking up your pen, and just write. If you don't have anything to write that. I don't have anything to write, until a new thought pops into your head, and then you write that down. So these are small ways to kind of help unstick or crack open some piece that feels blocked within ourselves. And sometimes it's, trying to do something completely opposite of what it is that you think you need to do. Sometimes it's taking a nap, and sometimes it's taking a shower. Sometimes when we do really mundane tasks, folding laundry, washing the dishes, taking a shower, that's when our subconscious gets to come into the forefront and helps us move through a block or a stuck moment.
All right, great. Thank you so much for taking our time to be on my show and sharing your wisdom and your perspective with my audience.
You're welcome.
So for those who would like to connect with you, how can they do that?
So I am at Sustaining Creativity on all social media platforms, and you can listen to my podcast wherever you find podcasts, the Sustaining Creativity podcast. So definitely tune in. And if you want to reach out, shoot me a message on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, and I'm the only one, so I will respond and get back to you. Ask me questions about creativity. I love to talk about creativity. So that's where you can find me, and I will absolutely get back to you.
Thank you so much once again.